Why hello, hello. Welcome back to a very fun series I'm probably going to call Barely Conscious Video Games or Sleep Deprived whatnot. It doesn't matter. It's nice to see you back, even though you probably never heard of me before, but I'm Isaac, or you could call me Powers. You could call me Isaac Powers. I don't really mind either way. But we're going to jump right in with one of my favorite all-time video games, FTL, also known as Faster Than Light. A pretty great creation by a group called Subset Games. As you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner, Into the Breach has been available for quite a long time, and it's also a pretty good game, albeit FTL takes the hot seat as my favorite version of one of their games. Nonetheless, I'm gonna play until I blow up something or beat the flagship, so hopefully this will be an interesting episode. And sorry if the mic quality is terrible, this is also the first gameplay that I've ever recorded, so I am not quite sure how to act, and I'm no Markiplier. So I could continue on my previous game, but then you wouldn't get all the wonderful exposition, so we're just gonna go from the very beginning. So, if you're new to FTL, it's a strategy game, where one of the main aspects is that when your ship dies, or all your people die, or various other things that can happen, you lose and you start over from the beginning. And that's what makes it such a great game, because it's offline. You can continue to play it practically forever because it's randomly generated each time. But the outcome is always the same. You always try to get to the very last port of space, like the 8th subsection, and you try to take on the rebel flagship in order to save the Federation. So I've unlocked a few ships. I used to play this game back in the day on a different account, but you unlock various ships by either beating a ship with beating the rebel flagship with the previous ship. So defeat the flagship with any layout of, this is the Engi, I think that's how it's pronounced, cruiser. And then you unlock the Type A. But for this playthrough, I'm going to go with the beginning, the Kestrel. It is what you get at the very beginning, the first ship you have. I've already unlocked all the achievements for it. It's pretty fun. They're pretty fun to try to get to. And then I've got the various loadouts for it, but we're just going to go basic. So here we have 3 humans, not too interesting. Different races have different abilities, but we'll talk more about that when we find them. We've got missiles. Missiles pass through shields, and they can damage directly to the ship hull. The only way to avoid getting attacked by a missile is to evade it via cloaking or dodging and whatnot. And then a burst laser. Those cannot go through shields. So shields refract most types of light weapons, whether they be beam or laser. But nonetheless, we're going to start with easy because normal is so hard and I'm a coward. But nonetheless, we've got advanced content turned on because it adds new ships, new dialogue options, and new races. And we're just going to get going. So, our introduction here with this wonderful music. The data you carry is vital to the remaining Federation fleet. You'll need supplies for the journey, so make sure to explore each sector before moving on to the next, but get to the exit before the pursuing rebel fleet can catch up. And then a little tooltip there, which is fun and dandy if you wanted to pause that and go read that, but I already have read most of them and I just kind of ignore them. Nonetheless, okay, a missile shoots across your bow, jump completes. Your scans quickly reveal a ship with pirate markings pursuing an unknown vessel. The pirate hails you. Damn it, we weren't expecting company, stay out of this and you could profit. So I could either accept their bribe, get that missile, that droid part, which doesn't help me because I don't have any robot arsenal setups yet, and some scrap, which is basically the currency for this game. Scrap pays for upgrades or weapons or however you want to do it. But that would just be too easy, so we're going to attack the pirate. So press space to pause the game. I like turning on auto fire because typically these are one-offs, so you'll have to retarget them every time unless you put on auto fire. And then we will take this and we'll let that charge up because everything takes a certain amount of time to fire. Makes sense, you gotta charge your weapons. So we're going to fire this so it can pass through their shields. took out their shields. Fine, our previous offer was not generous enough. Let's improve it. So accept the more generous bribe, but nah, you're a coward. I pause the game quite frequently, so if you don't like that, I'm not going to apologize for it. So then I will target their weapons, because they've currently got an ion type of weapon, an ion stunner, I believe, because that's the yellow one. And what ion weapons do is they disable your shields or your subsystems. So that flashing blue and that little blue lock means that system is locked, and it'll take like that amount of time before it unlocks again. And then that is a beam weapon. So beam weapons, depending on the damage that they do, can go through shield barriers. So right now I've got one shield barrier, current shield status, so that can block one hit of damage from a beam. So if the beam does 2 damage, it will block 1 damage, and then the 1 damage will go through. Thank the heavens you showed up. We don't have much to offer as a reward, but our engineer should be proficient enough to patch up your ship after that nasty fight. I know, it was so terrible. Nonetheless, let's get going. So, with various ships, they have various abilities. Like, this is the current system, subsystems, and like the reactor charge. And you can upgrade these by spending scrap. However, I don't have enough scrap to do anything meaningful. And then some places have augmentations, where your ship basically has a special ability, or it can withstand certain types of damage. This red line back here is the rebel. The rebels basically coming after you. They know generally where you are, and they're gonna push forward until the whole screen is taken over. So you kind of want to get in, do your business, and then get out. Oh dear. You jump to a rebel sector of the nebula beset by a plasmid storm. All automated rebel scouts stationed at the beacon moves in to attack. Prepare to fight. So this is an environmental danger. So typically when you jump into the pink cloud you saw that I jumped into, that is a nebula. Nebulas have a chance of being plasma storms, which is that little lightning bolt. This section of the nebulas experience a plasma storm, and then your main reactor can only function at half. So basically it cuts off half of your power. So typically it'll reroute you away from oxygen, which is not good, because your oxygen has already started going down a bit. But if all your crew members die, it's game over, because your ship can't autopilot. So nonetheless, I think, yeah, actually I'll keep that on, because it's not enough power to put on the shields. You know what, let's give it an engine. Give us a little bit of evasion. So, they disabled their missile and are just sticking to the stunner, which wasn't really the world's best plan, but I'm not going to fault them for it. Oh, there they go, they brought out the missile. Alrighty. Now, missiles always make me flinch, because they do kind of hurt, even though I did completely destroy that ship. The ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap materials. Yes, it's very nice. So, another fun fact about nebulas is that they restrict the access you have to your sensors, and that allows you to view the inside of your ship, which is how you've noticed this is all dark. And the only way you can check what's going on is if you had to move out of the nebula or send someone in there. The reason I sent someone in where the missile hit is sometimes it causes a breach in the hull, and that'll suck all the oxygen out of the room until you fix it. Which isn't really a problem, but typically you have to go in there at some point, so it's better to do it now than just in the middle of a high combat situation. You detect an automated rebel scout attacking a small refueling outpost. Intervene to defend the outpost or avoid the conflict. Now, you know me, and I might be a coward playing on easy mode, but I'm not going to let some innocent easy mode outpost be assaulted. Detecting the higher threat, the automated ship moves in to engage your ship. You know, that's always going to be a fun thing about the automated ships, is that we don't really know how they're working, we just know that they are, in fact, doing a thing. Ooh, oh, there goes the shields. So, as you see, I paused the game. The shields have taken damage. So, in order for one shield bar, it needs 2 of those levels of power. so I'm going to have to send a poor soul in there to fix it. Not really a poor soul because there's nothing currently going on. Oh, that wasn't the... Whoopsie daisy, that wasn't the weapon. Silly me. As you can see, as the ship is broken apart, we salvage what we could. The outpost hails us. Thanks for the help. We've been harassed non-stop. Take this on the house. See, that's always nice, because when you help people, sometimes you get a good reward. However, sometimes you get no reward, but, you know, that's just the important part of selflessness, is typically you're not expecting a reward, but it's always nice when you get one nonetheless. By pressing enter, I send them back to where they are assigned to be, so they just automatically pop back to their station. This is where you can view their skill progress. So you can see Martin, or Martine, probably Martin, doesn't have an accent on it, has developed the tiniest bit of skills in these regions because he's working in weapons and he's repaired some business. Same thing with John and Engines and Fish in piloting. I believe that these various characters that you'll find, unless you choose to rename them, I typically don't just because I feel like that takes the fun out of it. But I believe that most of them, if not all of them, are named after the Patreon supporters, or some kind of similar thing to Patreon that helped kickstart FTL. And honestly, what a great game it was. It got me through many years of, well, not many years, 1 year of private Christian high school. Boarding school where you were in the middle of the boonies and there was no internet to be seen, so offline games became our lifeblood. Nonetheless, thank you to my friends Boss Madness and Kirito Slayer. They're the ones that actually recommended this game to me back in the day, and I picked up quite a few on their recommendation, and I regret nothing. So, moving on though, from my little backstory. Scans show a remote settlement being blockaded by a pirate ship. The ship hastily messages you, "Stay out of this or you'll be next! Concentrate fire!" So, just in general, you know, like the little Hail Hydra thing going on there, we don't tolerate fascism. You asked for it! They pull away from the planet and move into engage. Now, see, the thing is, I haven't upgraded my ship, so I'm not really a formidable force yet, but I do enjoy just some good bigotry, so let's just, Alrighty, we give up. We're terrible at this pirating thing anyway. Oh, well, should we let them go? I'm not really thinking about the reward. Typically, the rewards, they're kind of mediocre either way. If I destroy them, I get more scrap, but less fuel and other things. But yada yada, that's not the part that really matters. But I'm going to let them go, mainly because of this very nice dialogue that they gave us. So, here we go. Martin, you're a little injured from last time you got a direct hit from a rocket, which I understand. That doesn't sound too dandy. So, we'll let you patch that thing up real quick. And then cut the oxygen, add power to the medbay, and he heals up right quick. Certain augmentations can allow that to happen outside the medbay, but typically healing happens specifically in the medbay. Gotta love the Kestrel. It's as basic as it gets. Upon completing your jump, you receive a message from a nearby ship. Greetings and welcome to our beacon. For a small fee, we'll let you continue on your way. A small fee for a portion of space that you claim to own? Oh, you know. You haven't even met me, but you know that I don't do that. Too bad. You will regret this decision. Oh, I'm sure I will. I might not have, like, galvanized weapons, but I know how to, kick butt. Okay, so that thing that you see right there is a drone. So we don't have a drone subsystem, but typically the bar will be here if we buy one in a store. And this is an anti-drone drone. Kind of redundant, but basically what it does is if I deploy a drone that's supposed to go around their ship and attack it, it'll stun it and shoot it down. So at first I thought it was a defense drone that can shoot down various projectiles that you shoot at them through the air, but it wasn't, so I've got nothing to worry about. Nonetheless, we just wait for that to recharge. Oosh. I like pausing the game to give me a quick swap of various weapons, because typically you want to wait for the shields to be down to maximize the damage from your lasers, etc. The ship repeatedly hails you. Looks like they want to surrender. I don't know, you tried to charge me a fee for going through a portion of space. And I know this might not be Federation space anymore, because we are losing that battle, but I just don't like being... accosted by your ridiculous beliefs that I have to pay you to go somewhere. I mean, what is this? The Golden Gate Bridge? Calm down. There goes their ship. Ship explodes, substantial collections of material. So sometimes in battle you'll see it'll say miss, and that's like either a rocket, hopefully because rockets don't get stopped by shields, or a laser or some kind of projectile has zoomed by the ship because we were able to dodge it. So up here you have our evasion chance, which you can read it right there. It's the chance that we won't get assaulted. So we have a 20% chance of a bullet not hitting us, which isn't terrible, but it's also not as great as it could be. You can upgrade that stat by upgrading your engines. As you can see, it's got like the dodge, 10, 88, yada yada. This is also affected by piloting, so if no one's in the piloting room, there's no evasion. However, we get our pilot back in there. So once these crew members, once they get up to speed on their various skills, that's what I'm trying to say. Once he levels that up, it'll go green once, and that's level 1, and then it'll go all the way up to gold, which is level 2. Then it'll increase that evasion, because they're better at it. So it's kind of cool they can be better than troops. You detect a rebel scout on an attacking approach to a small refueling outpost. Sounds familiar. Their weapons are charged, but they're not firing just yet. Intervene to defend the outpost as always. Responds to my threat. I don't know who you are, but no one defies the rebel fleet. Calm down, Janeway. They move in to engage. So, here we have a type of drone. So this is a beam drone. Like I said, beams typically don't go through shields unless they're powerful. This only does 1 damage, so it gets blocked by the shield, which is nice. But if he had a pistol here, knocked out my shields, and then that drone could just go ham. But it looks like he's got two beams going on, which isn't like the most solid plan unless you've got like the most powerful beams in the game. But you know, I'm not here to judge. Nonetheless, we'll just let that play out because I can't fast forward it. But you can already see where this is going. It doesn't get tough up until like second or third beacon station things. It said at the beginning. Nonetheless, the outpost hails you. The pompous bastards expected free service just because they defeated the Federation. Take this from them. Thank you. Hopefully, however, they won't defeat the Federation. Oh, this is a fun thing. So when you see a blue dialogue option, that means you have a specific something that isn't just like the generic. So basically, because I have a missile weapon, I can choose a different approach to this because I have that option now. So you come across an asteroid mining colony. They message you immediately saying, "Greetings, our supplies of mining explosives have run out since the rebels blockaded the system. Do you have any extra explosives?" So we can offer to solve the problem by launching a missile or give them missiles. So I did that. Typically they're miners, they don't really want that. While I appreciate your enthusiasm, we have certain protocols for the use of explosives around the workplace. Launching a military-grade weapon on our mines is not exactly what we would call union-friendly. I get that. OSHA, or SPOSHA, Space OSHA, would definitely be up anyone's butts who did that, so I'll give them 5 missiles because I still want the other 5. They thank you for your generosity and give us some scrap. Missiles aren't an end-all, save-all, because I can still get by without my missiles for a bit. But, you know, they're nice to have around. You're immediately contacted by a nearby settlement. Hello, travelers. Your ship seems to be outfitted for combat. Care to take up a bit of mercenary work? Ooh. So this is a quest. some of our friends have taken to piracy in the recent chaos of the war. We'd like you to convince them of their poor decision by severely damaging your ship. We'll pay you as long as you don't kill them all. Alrighty? Just be sure not to blow them up, they say nervously. As they direct you to a nearby moon, you find the pirate ship docked there. They immediately respond to your appearance with your money or your life. They must be new at this. Alrighty. Well, so this is a quest. A lot of quests are different, and they typically involve you traveling to a certain location. However, for this specific quest, we're not supposed to kill them or destroy their ship. We're just supposed to severely damage it to make them, like, you know, consider, make them reconsider. Yes, so here it is. They hail your ship saying, "You win, we're not cut out for this." Let them live, or forget your promise, they die. I'm gonna let them live, because I'm a good citizen. With the pirates dissuaded from their career path, you return to the settlement. Thank you. They returned to us before you did. I don't think we'll need this anymore. A laser charger Mark II. So sometimes there's various marks of weapons. So that typically means they're improved. If it's a Mark 1 or a Mark 2, it means that Mark 2 is better, usually. So this can charge up multiple times, so you can hold on to it and then shoot it. So typically I don't go for these kinds of weapons, but I don't really mind right now. So how much power does this take? This requires 3 power, and we've got quite a bit of scrap. So there you go, it's going to add the 3 power. This is all hypothetical until you click accept. Just an FYI. So I can add 2 power there. And there we go. So once that bar fills up, it'll click in 1, and it'll go up to 4. And basically, when you want it to fire however many projectiles you have loaded in there, you just target something with it. Alrighty, so this is what I was talking about, the rebels. So this is the area they're going to take the next jump. So if I were to jump there, this white line would already have moved up to where this red line is. So the rebels are about to gain control of this beacon, so that means they'll get it in 1 jump. These are ones that they already have, and basically if you end up trapped with the rebel fleet, they have very superior ships than ours is at the beginning stages, so that's always fun. So this beacon is almost hidden within a nebula. When the FTL drive, faster than light drive, is charged, you can jump to the next sector. So typically you want to gain as much stuff from each sector. Like it's tempting to go straight for the exit, but you can't upgrade your ship if you don't earn scrap, get random quests that give you random weapons, etc. So distress call. Someone might need help, or it might be a trap, or it just might be a dud. You never know. You find a number of ships fleeing from a small space station. You hail them, asking what's wrong. Help! We're being overrun by some sort of giant alien spiders. So the fun part about this is a risk-reward kind of thing. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. Well, if you leave them alone, you play it safe. But this might cause pain, or it might cause glory. So I'm going to send it up, because if something bad happens, I'm not attached to any of them yet. I mean, one of them's literally named Fish. No offense, anyone named Fish, except who named you? Your crew slowly creeps on a cluster of the creatures. That's a tongue twister. From behind. Without warning, the giant arachnids turn and charge. However, your team stays in control, and before long, you've beaten them back. So that's a good thing. Typically, sometimes bad things happen from this. They are thrilled with your success and offer you a reward. How nice. So nothing bad happened. So that was rather pleasant. So here's the fun game of, can I get down to there, back up to there, and back to the exit before the rebels take control? So I'll be down there, it'll be up to here, I'll jump back there, it'll be up to here-ish, maybe, and then, yeah, I mean, let's try it. You only live once, right? Plus, hypothetically, we could just run away. Looks like this beacon is home to a rebel checkpoint. They're stopping and searching any ship that passes through. Civilians are being harassed and Federation members are detained. Rebels haven't noticed you yet. Fend for yourself, bribe the rebels to release the civilians, stay out of the way. Let's see if we can bribe them. Like most rebels, these are just men trying to get by in a rough galaxy. They take your scrap and let everyone continue their journeys. Contact the civilians. The civilians are grateful, however none of them seem to be eager to be mistaken as Federation loyalists, so quickly jump away. That's fine, I mean, typically, these things happen, you know, but I think we're gonna get caught up in the next jump. Yes, we are! Oh, what a wonderful playthrough. Couldn't even make it out of the first sector. You found the exit beacon, but the rebels got here first. You must survive long enough to be able to jump to the next sector. So you see they've got a ship that's severely, or not severely, but it's quite advanced compared to mine. So let's just power that down, give that power to the engines, it charges up your FTL fast with more power you have in the engine, and it gives you a better evasion. So, nonetheless, see, even if we destroy these ships, we don't have the time that is required to... We don't have the time that it takes to harvest them for parts. So, basically, we just have to bide our time until we can either jump out, or if we destroy them, we'll get 1 fuel. So it's not really worth the effort, per se, to keep attacking them, unless you're just, you know, positively sure that you physically can. See, in this case, we're going to be able to beat them, just because we got lucky. See, now that jump beacon, the jump button is charged up, but I want that 1 fuel, because I'm a green. There's no time to salvage the enemy ship. You must jump away before the cruisers get into firing range. Those are the bigger ships. So get that 1 fuel, hop to the next sector. So the abandoned sector, pretty much anything could go down, or the civilian sector, which is typically less hostile. Yes, civilian, hostile, nebula. I'm gonna go with this one. There's typically more interesting events in random places. I was gonna say like nebulas, but with an L, lebulas. That's not the thing though. So, this sector was the site of many major battles between the Federation and the Rebel fleets. Strangely though, there's very little evidence of these battles remaining. So maybe someone has picked them clean? We'll never know. Let's hop back here first. We've got plenty of fuel. ASB allies, that rarely ever happens. Upon arrival, you are immediately surrounded by chaos. A planet's anti-ship battery is firing on a number of Lania ships. One of the combat ships mistakenly believes your ship has arrived to assist the planetary defenses. So, you know, this often happens. We didn't really mean to be against anyone, we just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. So this is the Lanius race. The ASB, typically ASB is against you. There's not a lot of places that will ally with you. But it'll say ASB enemies, and it's a red otherwise. But that's the planet is launching basically like flak into the outer space to take care of this ship that they believe is posing danger to them. So you'll see that is what will happen. It'll flash and it'll say ASB targeted, and then it'll puncture the ship. Pretty sketchy business too. Oh dear. So it seems we have our first fire. Now, as the people at White Lightning HQ, or Door Monster, the YouTube channel, ASB target locked, always said, the power of the doors. You use the doors for practically everything. You can use the doors to help with intruders, or otherwise. See there, you saw the ASB just obliterate that. The ship breaks apart. You decide to salvage it when the opportunity arises. You finish off your assailant with the help of the anti-ship battery, but the fight rages on in the distance. You'd best leave alone before you get dragged into this event. Alrighty. Well, offwards and upwards, sideways and diagonally. Alrighty. You find the source of the distress call, a small research station. It appears a small laboratory has gone out of control. Laboratory fire. And is threatening to destroy the station. The fire suppression system is not working. Let's go with survivors. You locate the highest concentration of life forms, but before you can offload the survivors, a huge blast splits the station apart. Your ship is thrown away, and the last of the survivors is consumed with the collapse of the station. That's gotta hurt. Plus, it damaged our ship. So basically, we're going to allow the oxygen up here to kick back on. So it goes from just being this complete like red, which means that is suffocating, to this is just like thin air, like Everest style. Like halfway up Everest. You know, it's breathable, but you're not struggling. Or you're not having a gay old time, but you're not dying. Which is, you know, it's acceptable. But as the oxygen enriches, it'll get paler and paler until it's just back to white again. Let's see. I want to upgrade the doors. Upgrading your doors. So right now, these doors, practically anyone, like an intruder could teleport aboard and they could just walk through the doors, like it was like a tavern style in Old Western. And fires spread easier when your doors are weaker. For whatever reason, I don't know. I suppose we invest in better technologies. The pirate sees you before you can see him. Prepare for a fight. So I guess we will charge up some of these things. You know, it's fun. I wish I could cut to the fun parts, but I'm quite terrible. Hey, thank the heavens that is. I'm quite terrible at editing, and I haven't completely learned all the physicianess. So you gotta forgive me if I am a little boring at times, mainly because I'm not used to talking to an audience that I don't see in person. And I'm also not used to commenting on my video games. I usually just brood in silence. The ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection. I'm just gonna stop reading that message because I've read it like 4 times. But you know, it's all fine, it's fine. Finally, our first doors! Alrighty. You come across Elanius in the process of absorbing a rebel automated scout. You scare off Elanius. If you scare off Elanius, you could probably make use of it. I'm gonna leave them alone, because the Lanius are cool. I like them. Their ships are like knives and crystals. Whatever assistance the disabled scout could provide is not worth the risk of fighting another Lanius. Oh, well, that was lame. I was hoping like the Lanius would like appreciate me for that, but instead I just took the coward's way out. A rebel ship hails you. Federation scum! Imperial scum! We've waited a long time for this. This is like the one game where the Federation isn't the bad guy. I mean, like, you know, because, like, well, I mean, like, Star Trek, sure, but they don't have a whole lot of great games. Unless you wanted to do the one VR game that they have, which I found pretty entertaining. Nonetheless, you know, like Star Wars, I guess. I don't know if it's not the Federation, is it? No, I don't think so. Take everything we have, just don't kill us. No, I'm gonna kill you. I'm not gonna read that message as promised. This is the closest. Don't mind the gentle sounds of me fondling my microphone. You arrive to discover a number of Lania ships docked at what appears to be a station. You hasten to leave, but are relieved when they message you, in your language. Buy, sell, traders. Apparently some merchants immigrated with the scavengers. How nice. So here we've finally got like an assortment of weapons. Charge ion, same thing as the charge laser, except with ion damage, which I explained quite a bit ago. Hull beam, hull weapons do more damage to the hull than they do like a system room, so it has to be an empty room to do the most damage. And an anti-bio beam, which is pretty rare, but I haven't found it all too useful because it only hurts people. And that's kind of a spooky thought, but it's not like the best weapon in the world. That doesn't help me because I do not have a clone bay. Clone bays, they just they slowly regenerate health per jump, and then if someone dies, they clone them back with like a skill penalty, instead of the med bay where basically you have to go in it to get healed. Recharge booster, not that great. I'm not in those situations a lot, and it gets healed by teleportation. Sadly, I don't have a teleporter. I will allow you to fix up my ship, though, because I got hurt by that one event pretty bad. I don't have a whole lot of scrap. I like to head to stations where they're selling things with a little bit more than that. Your scans have picked up on a Lanius vessel in the system. It appears to be navigating a rich debris field, harvesting the minerals. Attempt to harvest some for yourself. Yeah, we can share. As you attempt to navigate the debris, you come too close to the Lanius ship, and they proceed to try to harvest you! Oh, please, no, sir. I promise I can also pile of metal in space. I don't know what that was, but you know. Well, like I said at the very beginning, this is like sleep-deprived video games, where I'm just like ever so slightly tired, but not so tired that I can't properly function. Give me your bones. With my bones, I mean ship's health. It doesn't matter. It's all over now. Hush now. Go to sleep. Okay. Hush now. Go to sleep. Violent explosion. Okay. The competitor gone. You proceed to investigate the field and scavenge what you can. Now I have 100 scrap. Yay. Hey, I can barely make it to this store in time. Let's see if they have anything good. Trading depot is set up near the beacon. So you can get a clone bay to replace that, but it's not very prevalent. A drone control, which is okay, but there's not a whole lot of cool drones. Hacking, which is okay. Basically, you send a robot out, and it attacks a specific subsystem, and then you can press a button that disables that system or subsystem for a certain amount of time. So nothing interesting thus far. Enemy defense drones from targeting anything. I mean, that's like, it's very mundane, so. You know what, let's go with the clone bay. I don't really like the med bay anyway, it's kind of lame. The only problem with this is that it heals like a very small fraction, and if it's unpowered and someone dies, they will start dying. You find a rebel automated scout floating near the beacon. Despite its beautiful condition, it appears to be deactivated. I'm gonna download its shit. You're able to pull the ship's data out of the sector. My map has been updated. Fancy. So now it'll tell you what's going on. So possible ship detected, possible ship detected, etc., etc. So that means there's a ship here, basically. Oh, it's just another unmanned drone. You know, pretty casual business. I'm just gonna fire at its weapons, because you don't need them. Alrighty. Booyakasha. I don't know who said that, but I'm pretty sure I'm quoting someone not being original. There's some goodies for us. Let us make it to the exit. Anything interesting here? Ooh, you spot a rebel ship nearby. It seems to be refitted for transport rather than combat. It does not seem to want to engage you in your ship. Well, we are enemies of the Rebel Empire, so let's just make it prevalent. You appear to secure their cargo by force. It looks like they don't want to fight. They're trying to escape. I understand. I severely outmatch you. I'm gonna let that charge up for a minute. So we haven't seen this yet, but their FTL is charging, much like ours does, but it's at a different rate. We can't see it. It'll eventually say flashing like enemy FTL about to take off, kind of thing. But nonetheless, what you have to do to take care of that is damaging their pilots or their engines. So we'll take out their shields there. See, and now it's delayed. However, if you allow them to repair any of those things, it can become more of an issue. There they go. The ship was carrying military supplies. Hey. It's like we're going after ball bearings. Alrighty. Next sector. Rebel controlled or abandoned? Let's go abandoned. There have been a number of reports of advanced ships salvaging the wrecks of an abandoned mining facilities in this sector. Could it be the Lanius have resurfaced? Yeah, we just saw them for like 2 whole sectors. Nonetheless, this is coming up on a 40-minute video here, and as much as I'd love to do a whole playthrough, I just don't think anyone in their right mind would stick around that long. So, if someone does see this and they like my horrible mic quality, my terrible puns, and my overall charming character, make sure to drop a something. I don't know, I'm not a pro YouTuber yet. And leave a comment with ideas, suggestions. I always could use more games. But until next time, this has been Izaac, or Powers, or Izaac Powers, part of this trio that we have here on YouTube. We don't quite have a name yet, but we are definitely something. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you all next time. Toodaloo.